Do-do-do-do-do. Great morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is the day that the Lord has made. We choose to rejoice and to be glad in it. Indeed, we do. We say that the Lord is good and that his mercy endures forever. Great is his faithfulness to us. I am Angela Thornton, and this is Wise Word Ministries. We thank you and we bless you. Hey, Daisy. Whew. So, the mister went to the doctor yesterday, and it is determined that he is infected. He is infected with bronchitis. Bronchitis. And he came back with looked like a grocery bag full of prescriptions, one of which was literally a pint of cough syrup. Now, I have never seen a pint of cough syrup, like never. But yeah, he came back with a pint of cough syrup, yo. I'm like, bruh, what? And guess who else is sniffling? Moi. But it's all good. It's all good. We I don't you I told you can catch something because you see how I sound. He started as just a sinus drip and it got down into his bronchial area. But I don't have time for this because the next 2 weeks, one week I'm working the election, and then, um, yeah, working the election starting Monday till the 8th, the 9th. I'm helping a friend with a health fair, and the 10th, I leave for Nashville. So I got a busy couple weeks. Ain't nobody got time to be sick. What we doing that for? Anyway, uh, when the manna stopped, we all know about the manna from heaven. We all know God fed them in the wilderness with manna. It's your birthday. Well, I will get the Mister to sing, but right now he sounds like 12 frogs in his throat. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Ro. Happy birthday to Ro. Happy birthday. It is Rochelle's birthday. Please say happy birthday to Rochelle. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. Ooh-wee. So, in Joshua chapter 5, um, 10 through 12, they celebrated the Passover. Y'all know, I love how the Bible gives you days on the evening of the 14th day of the month. And on the day after Passover, they ate um, some of the produce of the land, unleavened bread, and they had roasted grains. The day after that, the manna stopped. The day after that, the manna stopped. And the people of Israel never had manna again. That year, they ate from the crops that grew in Canaan. Hoo-wee. Some messages I kind of wish they would teach, preach in the church so people would understand what's going on, but they don't. I'm not saying preach because you learn instruction through teaching. That's the whole point. And if you get a bunch of prophetic messages, everybody got a prophecy, but they don't give you any instructions how to access it, what to do, then you just lost, right? People perish for a lack of knowledge and all that. So we know that the last plague was the killing of the firstborn. Got to go all the way back to Exodus for that, and it happened at the Passover. Right? It happened during the time of the Passover, and right after that, what did Scripture say? Pharaoh, let my people go. And they left and they were in the wilderness. And while they wandered those 40 years, every day, God gave them manna. Every day he fed them. He was provision. They didn't have to look for it. They didn't have to work for it. They didn't have to wonder if it was coming today. The weather didn't impact its delivery, whether it was hot, or a little bit hot. Didn't matter if it rained or not rained, if there were enemies or not enemies. The issue is it came every day like clockwork. They knew it was coming. They knew manna was coming, right? Whew. The day after the Passover in Joshua, the manna stopped. There was a change that occurred. They now were settled in what the land that had been promised, the promised land. They now had crops growing in the promised land. They no longer needed the miraculous manifestation of manna from heaven. And here's the thing about the manna, it was never not enough, and it was never too much. And if they tried to be greedy and take more than what they need, it spoiled. Whoo-wee. Something changed. We have a few days, month, 2 months, and a few days before the year ends. What will change? What will change as you are preparing to go into 2023? What will change? Because I know for some of you, you feel it now. Nothing has changed. This year was just like last year and the year before and the year before and the decade before. So I don't nothing gonna change. That's not true. What are you setting yourself up for in this next year? And I know you may feel like nothing has changed, but it has. But it has. Number one, most folk aren't walking around wearing masks anymore. We're not isolated in our homes anymore. Right? You can go out. Hospitals are not inundated anymore. We don't have a death count on our TV screens with the news all day long anymore. Something has changed. Church as we knew it has changed. The Israelites, when they were in Egypt, they ate well. Now they were in bondage, they were in slavery, but they ate well. God took care of them. When he said, leave what for many of them is all they had ever known, I'm leading you to a promised land. Now, it wasn't looking promising, I must admit. God, you took me from over here and I'm wandering. It's a desert and there's enemies all around. What are we doing? But guess what? Provision was still there. They were still eating. They never had to worry about that. They never had to worry about sustenance. They never had to grow food. They never had to harvest grain. They never had to do anything but collect, because every day manna rained from heaven. The food was a little different, but there was still provision. And then he says, okay, now I need you to leave here because you're getting ready to cross over into the land of promise. And then right after the Passover, something changes. The food changed again. Now, manna is not just falling out the sky. Now they're eating grain that was grown in the ground, which signifies that they're settled into a place they're going to be for a while. Because God was raining manna from heaven, because the desert, the wilderness, is never where they were meant to be settled and stay. They were constantly moving toward the land of promise. Sometimes we get so settled in a place that is simply a pass through, and we try to make it permanent. No, the wilderness was never a permanent place for them. Was never meant to be a permanent place. So if it wasn't meant to be a permanent place, then we're not acting like we're permanent. We're not growing crops. We're not building houses. We're not doing anything wet. We're not raising animals. No. This is not where we're going to settle. We passing through here. It's like when you're on the road, when you're traveling and you're driving somewhere and you stop for food and you get it in your car and you keep driving because you know this is not a permanent place. So this fast food, we just got to keep moving. See, they were no longer relying on supernatural food. Now it was stuff they got to work for. It's food they have to harvest. It's food they have to grow. It signified that we were in a place that was a place of promise and permanence. It signified we had arrived at the place God had said. Now we got to do some manual labor. Their source is still God, but how he provides has changed. In the wilderness, the provision was miraculous. It was just falling out the sky every day. Every day. See, you may be in one job now, and that's how God is providing your income. But he can move you to something else that will provide your wealth. You know, when you're 16 and you working at McDonald's, that's not where you're going to most likely be forever. It's like I listened to a podcast the other day, Meghan Markle, and she talked about being on Deal or No Deal. And she said, it provided income. It allowed me to pay my bills, and it allowed me to have insurance. But I always knew it is not where I would stay. I always knew there was more for me. That's how it was in the wilderness. It provided food. It helped them to trust God. But there was more for them. He did bless them in the wilderness. And when it was the season for them to be there, they was there. And when it was the season to leave that place, leave that city, leave. They followed the pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night. When God is saying leave their relationship, leave their church, what? Leave Leave my church. God, this was my friends are. You know, my grandmama, my granddaddy put the third brick in this church. This is the only place I've ever known. Reverend Dr. So-and-so been my pastor since I was a kid, and I'm 48 now. Precious, it's time to go. Or you need to step off the choir. I've been singing in the choir since I was 22. Okay, well, you 62 now. Sit down, rest, do something else. Let somebody else exercise their vocal cords. Leave that business partner. Let that client go. What? Let that client go. God, that's where the most of our money is coming from. They're our biggest client. Leave that business. Then what we gonna do? How my kids gonna eat? You know, I have bills to pay. I got a mortgage and a car note. See, that means you don't trust God as provision. That means you've decided that what you have is all that there is, and that God can do nothing else. See, the worst thing we can do is to not accurately pay attention and understand and discern when a season is over, ended, done. And you hanging on for dear life. You know that relationship is over. You know it. But you hang on and you just start reminiscing in the good old days. You remember when we used to do this? Yeah, but we're not doing that now. You remember? I remember when I was a size 8. I probably haven't been an 8 since I was 10. But you know, I remember. Yeah. I ain't say kid. Yeah, you know, that's how we do. The source has left. And now you stuck looking for resources. See, you got to follow God. He's the source. And if the source leaves, it doesn't matter what resource you find, it's not going to work. Had they not followed the pillar of cloud by day and fire by night, oh, they would have been destroyed. They knew they had to move when God moved. And he's doing the same thing with us today. You have to discern by the Spirit. The manna has stopped, supernatural provision raining from heaven. So now, God, what do we do? How do we eat? Because for 40 years, we were just used to sitting around every day like, it's about, it's 10 minutes to 6. Man, I'll be here about 6:15. That's what we did. But God is saying, no. No. It's time to go. It's time to go. And you need to understand everything is important. Geography is important. Demographics is trying to make permanent what God is trying to make we keep trying to make temporary things permanent things. That's not what he's saying. I didn't mean for you to be here till Jesus came. Like you stuck in quicksand and can't move. The manna has stopped. There's no manna raining right here. Well, God, you know, I'm comfortable. I know everybody here, and everybody here knows me. Okay, you can't meet new people? Because I'm the God of all flesh. I promise you, I can send you someplace where they'll know you too. In fact, they'll be prepared for you. They'll know you're coming. I can't just pack up and leave. Why? I can't move my kids. They're in school. They got schools. Yeah, they got schools where I'm going to send you. They got schools, teachers, children, neighbors, friends. Yeah, trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Because the manna has stopped where you are. So I don't know what you even looking up in the sky for. And God sometimes is saying, so that's it? That's your final answer? That's what you got? That's what you're going to give me? Really? You don't think I can provide over here? I'm going to read you 2 scriptures, Matthew 19 and 29. And everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or children or farms for my name's sake, I will receive many times as much and will inherit eternal life. Everybody who left for my sake, because I said so, I got you. Now, if you got up and you just following prophet so-and-so, that's another story. I don't have nothing, I don't have anything for that. I didn't tell you to go follow them. You did that. Luke 14:25 through 27. Large crowds were going along with him, and he turned and said to them, if anyone comes to me, does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, and even his own life, he can't be my disciple. Whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me can't be my disciple. Oh, you like, what? 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 Yeah. Follow God. Have you ever had things change and you were just wondering, God, what's going on? What's going on here? I had a lovely career. I was doing very well. What's going on? And that scripture in Joshua 5, verse 12, the day after that, the day after the Passover, the manna stopped. The people of Israel never had manna again. That year, they began to eat the crops that grew in Canaan. Guess what? Not only had they reached the promise, the place of permanence, they reached the place that would bring them profit, because now they are growing things and they have enough for themselves to eat. And if you looked at them, they were never poor. We read it like it's nothing, but if you sit down and you really think about that, if you understood that for 40 years you were getting your provision just falling from the sky, and then you wake up one day, the next day, and they're like, nah, it's 6:30. The manna usually here by at least 6:15, 7 o'clock. What? It was 600,000 of them by then. Because, a lot of them died. They were like, God, we eating from the crops. There's a lot of grain and a lot of wheat. Every day, you have to go harvest for the food for that many people. Here's some signs. Before that, they just went outside, picked up the manna and ate it. And it was enough for everybody. Now they got to harvest the wheat. They got the threshing floor. They got to work the winnowing. Steps that weren't there before. They didn't have to work for the food, but now they do, because you're in a place of permanence. God doesn't need to treat you like a baby anymore. He's moved you from where you were transitioning. Work. Now they got to build and they get to establish themselves. How you going to do that if you're not working? Things change. You've crossed over. It's like crossing over from being a 5-year-old where your parents do everything to you a teenager. Now you can clean and wash, to an adult where now your mom and dad are not taking care of you anymore. Now you're working and providing for yourself, but God is still providing. Here's some signs that you are entering a major change. The manna is about to stop. Well, first of all, Passover. That's easy. Who is that trickle effect? When you go into your sink and you turn on the water and the tap, it just comes out. And when you start turning off the water slowly, it goes drip, 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 drop, stop. When a provisional change is coming, and it is God and not the enemy, that's what it looks like. He's not going to just cut you off. But if you go back and think about it, the Lord was giving you signs all along. He was giving you signs that change was coming. He was giving you signs that the manna was about to stop. He was telling you, I need you to pay attention. I need you to focus because you're getting ready to have to leave from here. You're getting ready to have to make a change. I'm telling you, this job is about to be over. I'm telling you that not only is this job about to be over, I'm telling you this relationship is about to be over. I need you to heed. I need you to pay attention. I need you to listen to me. I'm telling you, I'm taking you someplace different. I'm going to do something different with you. I'm going to do something new with you. I have more for you to do, and you can't do that in this place, in this space. I've called you to evangelize my people. I've called you to teach my people. You can't do that and be here at this place, comfortable, sitting on the pew with your pretty hat. No, I need you to get up and move. I know your grandma didn't put the third brick in the church. It's all right. Take a picture of it. But I'm calling you someplace to put your brick. You can't live on the brick that your grandparents put. That's their legacy. That's not yours. I'm calling you to create your own legacy. And the minute you started receiving the message, what you should have been saying is, God, what's our next move? What's our next move? What's our next move? See, they got notice that the manna was going to stop when the spies came back with grapes. When the spies came back with grapes. Remember when Moses sent the spies, the 12? And 10 of them came back like, it's giants over there. They big too. But Moses, they big. Real big. And it's a lot of them. We're not going. 2 of them came back and said we could take them. They went to a place where there was no manna. And they spied out the land. And they came back with something looked like grapes. They didn't come back with a basket full of peach-flavored manna from this new land because there was no manna over there. It was different. So they had to know that once they entered the promised land, what they were going to eat was different and how they were going to live was different. But they had gotten so comfortable in what always was that they were not willing to see what was coming, what was going to be. Have we gotten so focused on what always was that we are afraid to take off the blinders so we can see what will be? On top of that, these were wilderness babies. They don't even know what it means to harvest nothing. Because remember, God said, you're not going to the promised land till all you stubborn old ones die. So these babies like, I don't know nothing about no harvesting. What is that? All they knew was manna falling from heaven. Now you want me to go dig up these taters and cook them? How? I don't know nothing about cooking. We don't have no skillets. What are you talking about? God said, I'm going to give you a new skill to tap into the new way of provision. I'm doing a new thing. I'm making a way in the wilderness. I'm making water in a desert. I need you to focus on me. Stop being so content with what is. We got to remain teachable, remain pliable. I mean, think about Elijah in the brook. All of a sudden now he got to have a dirty bird, a raven feeding him. What? And here's what I love about God. He didn't stop the manna until they were already in the place of promise. See, he didn't stop the manna while they were going to the place of promise. He waited till they got there, got settled, celebrated Passover, which indicated when they left Egypt, a celebration of the death angel passing over. I'm going to let you celebrate Passover. And then I'm getting ready to show you a new way of provision. Some practical steps to know when the manna is getting ready to stop and God is getting ready to move you to a place of change. If you already know God told you to leave, do it. Stop asking, God, is this you? Is this me? Is this the devil? God, I need a sign. Like Gideon, I need you to fleece. And you gave Gideon 2 signs. So I'm probably going to need 3 or 4 signs. Stop asking God to bless things, people, places that he already told you to leave. God, I need you to bless this relationship. I done took and told you that relationship is not for you. So no, I'm not blessing it. I need you to bless me in this job. I've told you that's not the job for you. And I told you to leave. So no, I'm not blessing it. There's no getting around when he say go. Just go. And if you're not like 100%, like 110%, sure, if he said leave, then just say, make sure there ain't no sin in your life. Because here's the thing, if you know you doing things and involved with things and or people that you should not be, repent. Eliminate the sin. Eliminate the sin. And then say, God, wait, let me eliminate what's keeping me separated from you. If you know you don't have any hidden sin, the one that we don't see. You can say, God, is this you or the enemy? It's a simple question. But see, the mistake we always make when it's not what we want to do is we attribute anything we don't want to do to the devil. I don't care what it is. Oh, that's the devil. No. Most of the time, it's probably not. It's us. And if it is the devil, got to give you a strategy to win that battle. If it really was the devil, then your provision and your supply is going to come back. Fast, pray, ask the Lord, show me, teach me. Because here's what happens when you stay in a place longer than you should be. Nothing good. Sin creeps in. He'll be like Saul. He'll remove his spirit. Like, okay, I told you to leave, but you want to stay. Like David, it was a time when men were at war. David was at home. God was on the battlefield. We know what happened. Mm-hmm. And we always want to go into warfare. I'm just warfare. Everything is not about a battle. Sometimes it's just simple obedience. It's not always about a battle. Sometimes it's simple obedience. When the manna stopped, they were already in the place of promise. But had they not followed the pillar of cloud by day, had they not followed the pillar of cloud by night, they wouldn't have got there. They'd have just been stuck in the wilderness. Because see, God had a plan and a purpose. He knew how long it was going to take for the others to die off. He knows what we don't know. And stop thinking that just the way he provided this time is the only way he can provide or will provide. Y'all know he didn't make he called everything into being, but he made Adam. He didn't make Eve like he made Adam. He didn't make Adam like he made the firmament. He spoke and God said, but he took the dust and he formed Adam. And then he put him to sleep and then he took from Adam Eve. So he switches things up. We start thinking that the way he's always done it is the way he gonna always do it. No, let's not get stuck. The day after Passover, scripture says, the day after the Passover, the manna stopped. And the people of Israel never had manna again. That year, they began to eat the crops that grew in the Canaan. And guess what? The people of Israel never wandered in a desert again. So they had no need for supernatural provision in manna. Because every enslavement after Egypt was as a result of their disobedience, not a prophecy. God spoke to Abram and said, your people will be enslaved. Egypt wasn't their fault. Babylon was. There was never a need for manna again because there was never a time when God's people wandered in a wilderness. So sometimes you're wanting him to provide what he always provided when you have no need for that type of provision. And he's trying to move you and say to you, nope, the manna has stopped. Excuse me. You don't need that anymore. I got something different. I know what you need. So follow God. Follow God. You might still, like I said, you want him to provide as he always has. And he's saying to you, you don't need that kind of provision anymore. It's like an infant. At some point, they stop needing formula and breast milk and they move to solid food because they don't need the provision of the breast milk anymore. At some point, you take the training wheels off the bike because you no longer need to ride with the extra help. You graduate to the two-wheel bike because you don't need that kind of provision anymore. So listen to the voice of the Lord because he's saying the manna getting ready to stop right there because that's not what you need anymore. Now we just got to decide if we ready to go with this new flow. Airmen, our devotional reading for today. Linger in my presence a while. Thank you. That's it, Grace. Get out your own way. Rein in your impulses to plunge into the day's activities. Don't be so quick to leave the presence of the Lord. Beginning your day alone with me is essential preparation for success. A great athlete takes time to prepare himself mentally for the feat ahead of him before he moves a muscle. Similarly, your time of being still in my presence equips you for the day ahead of you. Only I know what will happen to you this day. I've arranged the events you will encounter as you go along your way. If you are not adequately equipped for the journey, you will grow weary and lose heart. Now, follow the Lord. You all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your birthday, Rochelle. Do whatever you feel like you want to do or don't do today. Rhonda, if you're free, can you call me a little later today or tell me what's a good time to call you? I'm going to have me a cup of tea because it's all starting to come down again. I will see you all in the morning. Peace and blessings to you. It's good to see you all with us this morning, Zakia. See y'all later. Bye-bye.